Welcome to the Healthy Lifestyle Podcast, brought to you by Telehealth FX, your source for online GLP-1 weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy services. Visit telehealthfx.com to get medically guided access to weight loss peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide delivered right to your home. That's telehealthfx.com. Now, here's your hosts.
I want to start today with a phrase that sounds like marketing fluff, but is actually the most important 2 words in this entire industry right now: physician supervised.
And I know how that sounds. Every website says it. It's on every banner ad. It's become one of those phrases your eyes just slide past.
Let me ask you something honest. How many times have you started a diet on a Monday, done everything right for 3 weeks, lost a few pounds, and then watched every single one of them come back by summer?
Oh, you're describing basically everyone I know. And here's the stat that stopped me in my tracks when I was prepping for this episode. Research consistently shows that the vast majority of people who lose weight through dieting alone regain most of it within a few years. Some studies put that number above 80%.
80%. So if you've lost the same 20 pounds 3 different times, you are not broken. You are statistically normal.
Exactly. And that's what today's episode is all about. We're digging into medical weight loss programs, what they actually are, what the science says about how well they work, whether they're worth the money, and who they're right for. Because this has become one of the most searched health topics in America, and there is a ton of confusion and honestly, a ton of judgment floating around out there.
Right. If you've been wondering whether a medically supervised weight loss program is worth it, or whether those GLP-1 medications everyone is talking about are legit or just hype, stick with us. By the end of this episode, you'll understand what the research actually shows, the myths you can stop believing, and how to figure out if this path makes sense for you.
And quick reminder before we dive in, this is educational content, not medical advice. We're 2 people who read a lot of research, not your doctor. Any decision about medication, diet changes, or a weight loss program should happen in a conversation with a licensed healthcare provider who knows your history.
Always. Okay, let's start with the basics. When we say medical weight loss program, what are we actually talking about? Because I think people hear that and picture very different things.
Great place to start. A medical weight loss program simply means your weight loss is supervised by licensed medical professionals. So instead of downloading an app or buying a meal plan from an influencer, you're working with a doctor, a nurse practitioner, or a physician assistant. They look at your labs, your medical history, your medications, and they build a plan around your actual body. That plan might include prescription medication, but it also usually includes nutrition guidance, movement recommendations, and regular check-ins.
And that supervision piece matters more than people realize, because weight is not just a willpower issue. There's a whole hormonal system involved.
This is the part I wish everyone understood. When you lose weight through restriction alone, your body fights back. Your hunger hormone, ghrelin, goes up. That's the hormone that makes your stomach growl and your brain fixate on food. And your fullness hormones, like leptin, go down. So you're hungrier, less satisfied, and your metabolism slows a bit to conserve energy. Scientists call this metabolic adaptation. In plain English, your body thinks you're starving and pulls out every trick to get the weight back.
Which is why the person who regains the weight isn't weak. They're fighting biology with a to-do list.
Beautifully put. And this is exactly where the newer medications come in. You've heard the names: semaglutide, which is sold as Wegovy and Ozempic, tirzepatide, sold as Zepbound and Mounjaro. These belong to a class called GLP-1 receptor agonists. GLP-1 is a hormone your gut naturally releases when you eat. It tells your brain you're full and slows down how fast your stomach empties. These medications essentially amplify that natural signal.
So instead of white-knuckling through hunger, the hunger volume gets turned down.
That's how a lot of patients describe it. They say the food noise goes quiet. That constant background chatter about snacks just fades.
Okay, so let's talk numbers, because this is where the science gets genuinely impressive. What do the trials actually show?
So the big one for semaglutide was a series of randomized controlled trials called the STEP trials. And a randomized controlled trial, for anyone new to research language, is the gold standard. Participants are randomly assigned to get either the real treatment or a placebo, so you can be confident the results come from the treatment itself. In those trials, people taking semaglutide along with lifestyle support lost around 15% of their body weight on average over about 16 months. The placebo group, who got the same lifestyle support but no medication, lost around 2 to 3%.
That's a massive gap. And tirzepatide?
The SURMOUNT trial showed even bigger numbers, with average losses around 20% of body weight at the higher treatment levels. For context, before these medications, the best non-surgical programs typically produced 5 to 10% loss, and keeping it off was the hard part.
And that 5 to 10% number matters, because health benefits start well before anyone hits some magazine cover goal weight, right?
Huge point. Research shows that losing just 5% of your body weight meaningfully improves blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and sleep quality. If you weigh 200 pounds, that's 10 pounds. You don't need a dramatic transformation to transform your health markers.
I love that reframe. Okay.
Today's episode is brought to you by Telehealth FX, your source for online GLP-1 weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy services. Visit telehealthfx.com to get medically guided access to weight loss peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide delivered right to your home. That's telehealthfx.com. Now back to the show.
Myth-busting time, because this topic is drowning in myths. Myth number 1, taking medication for weight loss is cheating or the easy way out.
This one makes me genuinely frustrated. We don't tell people with high blood pressure that their medication is cheating. We don't tell someone with thyroid disease to just try harder. Obesity is recognized by the American Medical Association as a chronic disease with hormonal and genetic drivers. Using a medical tool to treat a medical condition is not cheating, it's treatment. And by the way, the medication doesn't do the work alone. People in these programs still change how they eat and move. The medication just makes those changes sustainable instead of miserable.
Myth number 2, if diets failed you, you just didn't find the right diet yet.
The research is really clear here. Meta-analyses, which are studies that pool the results of many studies together, show that all reasonable diets produce similar results long-term, and the long-term results of unsupervised dieting are frankly poor for most people. The problem wasn't never that you picked keto instead of paleo. The problem is that dieting alone doesn't address the biology we talked about earlier.
Myth number 3, the medication does everything, so lifestyle doesn't matter.
Also false. And this one matters for anyone considering a program. In the trials, medication was always paired with nutrition and activity support. And when people stop the medication without having built new habits, studies show much of the weight tends to return. The medication opens a window. What you built during that window, your protein intake, your strength training to protect muscle, your sleep, that's what determines your long-term result. This is honestly the strongest argument for a supervised program over just getting a prescription and being left on your own.
Myth 4, and this is a big one. Medical weight loss is only for people who have 100 pounds to lose.
Not true. Clinical guidelines generally consider these programs appropriate for people with a body mass index of 30 or higher, or 27 and higher when there's a weight-related condition, like high blood pressure, prediabetes, or sleep apnea. That describes a huge portion of American adults. A qualified provider can tell you whether you're a candidate, which is exactly why the evaluation matters.
Which is a good bridge to who should be cautious here, because this isn't for everyone.
Right. These medications aren't recommended during pregnancy or for people with a personal or family history of certain thyroid cancers. And anyone with a history of an eating disorder needs a thoughtful, careful conversation with their provider first. Side effects are real too. Nausea and digestive issues are the most common, especially early on, which is another reason supervision beats going it alone. A good medical team adjusts a plan, helps you manage side effects, and monitors you along the way. And notice we're not talking about specific doses here. That's a conversation for you and your prescriber, period.
Let's get practical. Someone listening is thinking, okay, I'm interested. What does a good program actually look like? And how do I avoid the sketchy ones? Because this space has exploded and not everyone in it is trustworthy.
Yes, here's your quality checklist. 1. A real medical evaluation before anything is prescribed. Labs, health history, current medications. If a website will sell you medication after a 2-minute quiz with no provider interaction, run. 2. Licensed providers you can actually talk to, with ongoing check-ins, not a one-time transaction. 3. Lifestyle support built in. Nutrition guidance, movement recommendations, help protecting your muscle mass while you lose fat. 4. Transparent pricing. And 5. No wild promises. Anyone guaranteeing a specific number of pounds by a specific date is marketing to you, not treating you.
And a quick word from the folks who help make this show possible, because they're honestly relevant here. Telehealth FX offers exactly this kind of medically guided weight loss, with licensed providers who evaluate your health history, prescribe when appropriate, and support you through the whole process from home. If you've been curious whether medically guided weight loss could work for you, check out telehealthfx.com and see if it's a fit.
The from home part is real, by the way. Telehealth-based programs have made this kind of care accessible to people who don't live near a specialty clinic, who can't take time off work for appointments, busy parents, shift workers. The research on telehealth-delivered weight management is encouraging. Convenience improves consistency, and consistency is the whole game.
Okay, common mistakes. Even people who choose a good program can stumble. What are the big ones?
Mistake 1, skimping on protein. When you lose weight quickly, some of that loss can be muscle if you're not careful.
Prioritizing protein at each meal and doing some form of resistance training, even bodyweight exercises at home twice a week, helps you lose fat while keeping the muscle that keeps your metabolism healthy. Mistake 2, treating the medication as a finish line instead of a tool. The people with the best long-term outcomes use the treatment window to build habits they can keep. Mistake 3, quitting because of early side effects instead of talking to their provider, who can usually help. And mistake 4, comparing your pace to someone on social media. Individual variation is enormous. Some people respond dramatically, others more modestly. Your only comparison should be your own health markers moving in the right direction.
That's such an important one. Your labs, your blood pressure, your energy, how your knees feel on stairs. Those are the real scoreboard.
And one more nuance we'd be irresponsible to skip. What works for one person may not work for another. Some people do fantastically with structured lifestyle change alone. Some people need medical support. Some people at higher weights with serious health complications may be better served discussing surgical options with their doctor. There is no single right answer, and there's definitely no moral hierarchy between these paths. The right path is the one that works for your body and your life.
If this episode is hitting home for you, do us a favor. Share it with one person who's been stuck in that lose it, regain it cycle and blaming themselves. This information genuinely changes how people see their own story.
And drop a comment telling us your experience. Have you tried a medical weight loss program? Are you considering one? What questions do you still have? We read everything, and your questions shape future episodes.
All right, let's land this plane. 3 key takeaways. Number 1, weight regain after dieting is biology, not weakness. Your hormones actively push back against weight loss, and that's why willpower-only approaches fail for most people long-term.
Number 2, the science behind medically supervised weight loss is strong. Gold standard trials show 15 to 20% average body weight loss with GLP-1 medications plus lifestyle support, compared to 2 to 3% with lifestyle changes alone. And meaningful health benefits start at just 5% loss.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to visit our sponsor, Telehealth FX, your source for online GLP-1 weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy services. Go to telehealthfx.com to get medically guided access to weight loss peptides like semaglutide and tirzepatide delivered right to your home. That's telehealthfx.com. See you next time.